Mayor, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for December 16, 2021 to order at 7:05 p.m. On roll call, council members Balistrary.
Here.
Fakori.
Here.
Fasolo.
Here.
Golubek.
Here.
Pellegrin.
Here.
Council President Wetchler.
Here.
Mayor Coletti.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Erin. It's nice to see you this evening.
Ditto.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Can you say it a little louder? There you go. We've got a lot of good things in store this evening. We'll be swearing in 3 police officers. We have 2 council people that this is probably their last meeting. So we want to get started. And by getting started, with everybody, please rise for our prayer and flag salute. Oh God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting, which we entrust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant therein a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighborhood. Guide us in our deliberations so that our decisions will always please you and bring your peace and happiness to our community. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of the State of New Jersey require at the commencement of every meeting a statement of compliance be read by the presiding officer. That's me. Now, therefore, be advised that the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met by publishing an annual notice in the Record and Herald News of Woodland Park and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk, as well as in a public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Notice was posted on January 8th, 2021, and published on January 13th, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is being videotaped and will be on cable channel 77 on Mondays at 3 p.m., Thursdays at 11:30 a.m. The video will also be available on the Borough's website, which is www.elmwoodparknj.us. Erin?
Thank you, Mayor. For approval of meeting minutes this evening, we have the October 7th, 2021 special meeting executive session, work session, and executive session meeting minutes, as well as the October 14th, 2021 special meeting.
May I have a motion on the minutes, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
On roll call, council members Balistrary.
Yes.
Fakori.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler.
Yes.
Motion carries. Now at this time, we will make a special presentation to governing body members. With that being said, Mayor, I turn it over to you.
Thank you. As you know, our democracy works. There is an election each and every year, and in this town, we decide to new, or we can keep the council people that were here, but that's the way democracy works. And we have 2 council people that are leaving us this evening. I'd like to give them these plaques and show gratitude for their service. The first one will be the Shakib Fakori, Councilman, February 2021, December 2021, for his dedication, his service, devotion, and commitment to our community and our residents. And this award goes to a lady that I think I know the longest on this council. We go back to the early 80s, working with the football Bombers in town. And sad to see her go, but that's the way it is. What more can I say with that? The Borough of Elmwood Park proudly thanks Doris Wetchler, Councilwoman, January 2019 to December 2021 for her dedication, service, devotion, and commitment to our community and our residents. I'm going to ask the council to hold comments. We're going to swear in the 3 officers, and then you can say whatever you want about whomever you want.
Thank you, Mayor.
Almost.
Moving on to 3 special resolutions this evening, which will be followed by a swearing-in ceremony. Resolution R-445-21, appoint police officer George Vargas. Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the following name be and is hereby appointed as a police officer in the Police Department of the Borough of Elmwood Park effective December 17, 2021, George Vargas. Be it further resolved that remuneration is set at the rate as per the 2018 through 2025 PBA contract effective March 15, 2018.
Okay, we need
Is there a motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion, please.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
First by Wechsler, second by Pellegrin. On roll call, council members Balistrary,
Yes.
Fakori,
Yes.
Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wechsler.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-446-21, appoint police officer Michael Sestaro. Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the following name be and is hereby appointed as a police officer in the Police Department of the Borough of Elmwood Park effective December 17, 2021, Michael Sestaro. Be it further resolved that remuneration is set at the rate as per the 2018 through 2025 PBA contract effective March 15, 2018.
Motion, please.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll.
First by Wechsler, second by Pellegrin. On roll call, council members Balistrary,
Yes.
Fakori,
Yes.
Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wechsler.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-447-21, appoint police officer Anthony Ingraffia. Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the following name be and is hereby appointed as a police officer in the Police Department of the Borough of Elmwood Park effective December 17, 2021, Anthony Ingraffia. Be it further resolved that remuneration is set at the rate as per the 2018 through 2025 PBA contract effective March 15, 2018.
Motion, please.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Wechsler, second by Pellegrin. On roll call, council members Balistrary,
Yes.
Fakori,
Yes.
Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wechsler.
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, can all 3 officers please come forward to be sworn in by Mayor Robert Coletti alongside Police Chief Foligno and Police Commissioner Councilwoman Lorraine Pellegrin
Family.
alongside their family.
All 3. So stand next to your new officer. They're going to raise their right hand and put their left hand on the Bible. The mayor's going to recite the oath and they will recite the oath. Okay, I think we could shift down this way a little.
One stand up here.
Take it easy. We'll
One
take
take
it.
picture. One stand. Oh my God, son. Yeah, no. Stand over there. So
You know, the way we have to look at this.
Thank you.
It's like we're in our home in the living room. So everybody relax, especially the people that get sworn in. The only difference is if you were home in your own living room, you'd have to feed all these people. You don't have to do that here, so you're way ahead of the game. Okay. You're going to repeat after me. It's going to start off with I, and then your name, and repeat everything after that. Okay?
Careful.
I.
Ingraffia.
Okay. Next time, see if we can catch up with the rest of the class. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established
to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority
under the authority
of the people,
of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of
all the duties of
the office of police officer
the office of police officer
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Oh, Mike.
I usually do that.
Mike. Oh, that Mike. They could all just sign it. Yeah, it's right there. Anyone, they're all the same, yeah.
Comments, break, during the break, we'll do photos.
You want to do photos now, get it over with?
No, during the break, Mike.
During the break, okay.
Sorry, I don't mean to be bossy.
Okay, no, that's okay. Okay, we're going to allow the council to speak up on what they saw here in the last 5-10 minutes. I guess, Doris, we'll start with you.
Sure. I want to congratulate the three new police officers.
The microphone.
I was told about that, I'm sorry. I want to congratulate the new 3 police officers. Welcome to the family. You're now one of our angels. I know you're going to do the best in our town. You're working with the finest, the best in this whole state of New Jersey. Be safe, take care of yourself, and come home every night to your family. Congratulations.
Oh, I guess I have to pick another person. Mr. Fasolo, the voice, the picture of a person you cannot see. He's right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to start off with Anthony Ingrafia. Officer Ingrafia has a nice ring to it. I know how hard you have worked to get to this point in your life, and I'm so proud that you are finally seeing some of the fruits of your labor. I can't say I've ever met a more honest, respectful, and compassionate person. Anyone who crosses paths with you is always met with respect, and it's a testament to how you were raised. I'm sorry I can't be there tonight. COVID definitely got the best of me, but I know that I'm truly proud of you. Officer Sestaro, one thing you may not know is that growing up, my grandmother needed help filling out forms and other things because she didn't understand the language. There was this woman that would always come by the house all the time to help her, and I would always be over there as well. This woman taught me how to write a bank check. This kind woman was your grandmother, Mary. Today, while I congratulate you on joining one of the best forces in New Jersey, I cast my yes vote in honor of her, one of the kindest women that I've ever met. To all of the officers tonight, I wish you a safe and long career. You're all led by a great chief and have a force that is like a family. I have no doubt that you will make our community proud. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Ballesteri?
Okay, I would like to congratulate Officer Vargas, Officer Sestaro, and Officer Ingrafia on their appointments this evening. I welcome you to the Elmwood Park Police family. You are joining a department that is second to none. I know I can speak for all of us when I say we are extremely proud of our police department, as well as their leader, Chief Poligno. As you begin your careers here, I pray for all of you to be safe and be happy. God bless you always.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Golovec?
Thank you, Mayor. To Officer Vargas, I was very impressed with the breadth of your experience, how many different stops you've had, to get here today, a lifelong resident, and for this to happen at this point in your career when, you're almost at the cutoff, makes me very happy for you, and I wish you all the best in your career in Elmwood Park. To Michael Sestaro, who I've known since we were very young, and I've told my counsel I was never very, very close to him, but I always knew him. We played ball together, and I know that we have a very quality person joining our force, comes from a very good family, so I'm also very happy for you and wish you a lot of luck. To Officer Ingrafia, we've gotten to know your family much closer over the last few years, a very, again, good family in Elmwood Park. You've shown what you could do through the police department as a dispatcher, and I'm very happy that your dream is coming true today. And what I can say to the three of you, from our perspective, having to deal with a lot of different police issues, you're entering a tough profession, but also a rewarding and lucrative profession. So be smart, don't screw it up, use integrity, and be kind and respectful to people as much as you possibly can. Good luck to you guys on that. And I think we're also going to address the council at this time too, so I'll get into that as well. To my friend Councilman Fakori, I remember 7 or 8 years ago, there was an issue he was very, very passionate about, and it happened to be something the borough was doing wrong. And instead of going on Facebook like everyone does today and, ripping the town a new one, he actually came up to that microphone and told the council what they were doing wrong, how they needed to correct it, and that it wasn't the right way to treat the children of his organization. And I gained a lot of respect for him then, and I was proud to have him join us on the council earlier this year. A good man, respected by many, and I just want to thank you for your friendship and for your service up here on the council. Thank you, Shakib. Thank you. To Councilwoman Wechsler, who I've, agreed with 88% of the time on the council. Not everyone knows this, but her service and her family service goes back many, many years. Her father was a councilman on this council, maybe 75 years ago, Councilman Tredego. And aside from Mayor Mola, Councilman Wechsler is the only other person ever in the history of Elmwood Park to serve in elected office in 5 different decades. In the 80s, she got elected to the Board of Education, did a term, moved on with life. In the 90s, she saw a need, she ran, came back, made an impact, again, moved on to other things, did it the same thing in the 2000s, Then she said she was retired. And then we talked her into running for Board of Ed, and she said, all right, that's it, I'm done. And then we said, Doris, we need you on the council, and she jumped right in, and she has led with her heart all 3 of these years, and I'm very proud to call you a colleague, a friend, and as long as I'm involved, I will always tell the story of Doris Wechsler, who served her community in 5 different decades at different points in her life. So thank you so much.
Councilman Pecori?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I guess I don't want to talk. Thank you, Mayor. To the new appointed officers, Michael, Anthony, Mr. Vargas, I congratulate you. You joined in a great team, great chief, so I want to wish you good luck and be safe out there. I know some people have it for police officers and this and that, but you know, you have a great council and mayor that really, really appreciate you and really, really behind you, 100%. So nothing to worry about there. So congratulations again. I don't know what to say, Mayor.
Say something.
First, I want to congratulate the 2 new council members that are joining. Tanisha, congratulations. You've been a friend. You're a great person. You care about the town. So I'm sure you will do a great job up here. Ms. Terry Sheridan, congratulations. I'm sure you'll be fine up here. You have great people here to mentor you, so you'll be great. For the people here next to me, Doris, I owe you a hot chocolate, so I didn't forget about that. But hey, I want to thank everyone, the residents that voted for me, the ones that didn't vote for me. I just want to thank you for the bottom of my heart. You have no idea what it means to me as an immigrant coming from a third world country, made it here, and I'm sitting here as a councilman. It means more to me than anything else in the world. So thank you again for everyone. Doris, I want to thank you for your guidance, for your lovely personality, for your friendship. I was always cherish that. Thank you. Sandy, thanks for everything you do. Thank you for your friendship, just your kind heart. Thank you. Mayor, I'll leave you to the last one. Aaron, thank you. You've been so kind, so helpful. Every time we need something, always call you, you're there. Thanks again. Dan, thank you for everything you do for this town. I don't know, for a lot of you that don't know Dan or heard about Dan, you have no idea how much work he puts in for the town. So, Dan, appreciate you. My friend Lorraine, I don't know what to say to you, but this lady next to me, you have no idea how much work she does for the people without waiting for a thank you, for, hey, I want this or I want that. She does it because she loves the town, and she does it for the people of the town. So, Lorraine, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Mike, what can I say? The hardest working man here. Anytime you call him, he's up there, hey, whatever you need, we need this done. Yeah, sure, no problem, we'll get it done. No questions, no problems, everything is just let things run smooth. Thanks, Mike, for everything you do. Your Honor, appreciate your guidance, your help, your friendship, means a lot to me. Thank you. Again, everybody else here, I can't say thank you. I forgot my friend Francisco. He's on the phone, so he's not. Francisco, my son always complains about you as his teacher, but I could say You're one of the most genuine person. What you do for the youth in the town, it's unbelievable. I'm still in the youth committee, but I can say, thank you. What you do is unbelievable.
Thank you, Shakib.
You're welcome, Francisco. Mayor, you're the last guy. I don't know what to say.
Should I leave?
No. Stay here, stay here. I really, really appreciate your kindness. Your nice words to me means a lot. And I really want to thank you for everything you do. Appreciate you. Thank you.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. I thank everybody.
Mr. Fasolo, would you like to speak on the council candidates leaving?
I'm going to save mine for the council reports, Mayor.
Okay.
Mayor,
Okay.
did you forget
It's too
me?
long, and I'm running out of breath.
I got to circle back. I'm trying to keep this organized.
Okay.
Not you. Councilman Ballesteri?
Okay, to my friend and colleague Shakib, I know you for several years and you're a gentleman always. Thank you for stepping up to fill this council seat this year. You have done an amazing job. You have years of volunteer service to Elmwood Park in different capacities, which also includes being a member of the Board of Education, Recreation Board, and of course, a coach. I hope you will continue to work with us in other capacities. You're an asset to our community. Thank you, Councilman, for all you do. It is sad to lose good people as yourself on the council, so don't go too far. You're a good man and a good friend, Shakib.
Councilwoman?
Wait, I'm not that, I got,
Oh,
Doris.
I'm going to come back to that.
No, I have Doris.
Oh. You can't pause too long because I...
Okay, I know, I was catching a breath.
All right.
Council President Wexler, where do I begin? I have been blessed to call you my friend for many years. This is difficult. Last day to have my colleague who sat next to me for 3 years. What I love most about Doris is her passion and everything she commits to. She is the Energizer bunny with a heart of gold. But I also love the fight in her. She backs down to no one. This is a testament of her expressive language that I admire. Doris, your passion is your strength. You will do whatever it takes to accomplish your goal. An example is your passion and fight for the library. Doris has served several decades on the Board of Education as well as a term with us. I am confident that we will have her back in one capacity or another. So Doris, my good friend, charge your battery, jump back on this roller coaster ride when you're ready. I welcome you with open arms. I love you, stay healthy, and always be happy.
Okay. Lorraine, it's you.
You ready for me? Okay.
Yes.
Congratulations to Officers Vargas, Sestaro, and Ingrafia. Welcome to our team. I wish you a long, safe, and successful career here in Elmwood Park. We all had the opportunity to meet with the three of you, and you impressed us all. I know you will be great additions to our police family. Again, congratulations to all of you and your families. A proud night for everyone. To Shakib, you may have only served on the council for a few months, but you definitely made a difference. A true team player, hard worker, and just an all-around caring person who truly loves his community. You've been serving the community for years in different roles, and I know you will continue to do so. So this is not goodbye. You're just going to be doing in other capacities. So thank you for everything. You're a dear, dear friend to me. You love everybody. This is the guy that keeps the council together, that loves everybody, helps everybody, and brings a calmness to us all. So you are really, truly going to be missed. I'll be calling you many nights for that calmness. But we love you, and thank you for everything that you've done for us.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
To my friend Doris, and me and Sandy are thinking alike on this. Thank you for the many years of service to our community. Anytime we have an event or need help with something, Doris is the first one to say, "I'll help, no problem." She's like the Energizer bunny. She never stops. Doris truly cares about our residents and our community. You may be leaving the council, But I know you will stay involved because that's just who you are, Doris. You will always help everyone. So God bless you always. Stay healthy and stay around. We love you.
Council President Wetchler?
Now it's my turn. First, I'd like to thank the residents of this town who elected me to become councilwoman for the last 3 years. To my fellow council members, we worked hard together, we're a team, and I know that you'll make Elmwood Park better and better each day. And I know the team will continue to work hard for everybody. Sal, I want to thank you for everything that you've done for me and this council. You showed us both sides of the problem, and we had the opportunity to discuss it, and we worked it out together. Steve Kochiff and Tony Ambrosia, thanks for putting up for me for the last 3 months for the inspections for the library so we can get the CO to get the library open. Finally, we have the CO as of December 9th, so the library will be open hopefully within the next 2 months. Angela Fava, you are one special angel for everything you do in the town and for everything you do for our residents in time of need. This is the hardest part. To our chief of police, our police officers, and the fire department, you are always there, will always be in my prayers each night to be safe and come home to your families. You are my angels. I'm sorry. Danny, you wrote about my father. 75 years ago, he sat in the seat. So now I can say, Dad, I did it. And I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a happy and healthy New Year, and please, everybody, be safe. Thank you.
Police Chief Foligno?
Mayor, to Councilwoman Wetchler and Councilman Fakori, you served honorably. It was a pleasure working with the two of you. Thank you for your support of the police department. You're going to be missed, and I'm always a phone call away. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Ingraffia?
Here to the two outgoing councilors. It's been an honor, pleasure, not only as a professional, but as a friend, and someone who admires you both for the work and the dedication that you have put in this town and to help this community. That's something which is from the heart. It doesn't come from anywhere else. And that
Sal, did you say at no cost?
I know.
Okay. Mrs. Delaney, would you like to say something?
Sure, Mayor. Doris, your first meeting as a councilwoman was my first meeting as the borough clerk here for the Borough of Elmwood Park, and it's been an absolute pleasure to sit up here with you the last 3 years. You're very kind and genuine. I think everyone in this room was able to see that this evening, even those that don't know you. So I wish you nothing but happiness, health, and prosperity in the years to come, and I hope to see you in the near future. And Shakib, you are one of the most genuine people that I know. You have a heart of gold. I know you said the same of some people up here, but you forgot to mention yourself. And I didn't know you prior, but I am glad that you becoming councilman allowed me to get to know you and be your friend.
Let me start with our 3 new officers. First, I want to say welcome. And just want to say that we have a police chief here that I'm sure you're somewhat aware of, that is a staunch believer in organization and also communication. Don't ever mistake his kindness for weakness, because he can be the kindest person in the world or the opposite. The other message that I want to get across to you three gentlemen is the type of community we have here and what we've been working for in the last 3-4 years. And that is a melting pot between our police department and our community. Now, I don't know if you have noticed that, but that's very essential to the makeup of this council, this mayor, and that police chief. And the sooner that becomes part of you, then it makes the balance of the police department whole. So we're looking forward for you gentlemen to join up on that criteria. And I want to wish you all the best of luck. And to Mr. Ingraffia, you got 2 police chiefs, one here, sitting here, and one sitting over there. So you got double. Okay. To my colleagues, yes, go ahead. To my colleagues, start off with Doris Wetchler, Councilwoman. We go back, as I had mentioned before, many years. Doris hasn't changed. She's the same person. She's very strong. She's very emotional. And when you put those two together, sometimes it becomes a perfect storm. And I hate to be the person in the way of that perfect storm. When Doris is on an initiative, she's like a pit bull. She doesn't let up until she gets it. And that's a true mark of a leader. I respect that in you. To Daniel's percentage of agreement, you said 82%. I think we're about 80%, 75%, which is a very good percentage of people working together. You don't want bobbleheads. You want people with different opinions that bring different things to the mayor and council. And with that, wherever you're going forward, I want to wish you happiness, you and your family.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Mike.
Mayor, thank you. First, I want to thank the mayor and council, and the public needs to know this, that they support the police department, all the emergency services in this town. They care about public safety, and they give us everything we need to succeed. And I want to thank you guys for that. That makes my job easier, having your support. So thank you for that, first and foremost. Second, the officers. These guys, fantastic candidates, great background investigations on these guys, hometown boys. Guys, you could move and live wherever you want, but I hope you stay in town. It's important to me. I live here, born and raised here. I still live here, raised my family here. There's a little something different about that. Nothing against the officers that choose to move out or haven't been from here, but there's that hometown element that you see and you know when you see it, you know it. So awesome families, Ingraffias, Sestaros, and I'm just getting to know George and his family. Fantastic upbringings. These guys have solid foundations. They got a lot to learn, but the foundation is there, and we're going to teach you guys. So welcome to the family, and good luck out there.
I want to get to Councilman Fakori. I think the hardest thing working with you has been learning how to pronounce your last name. That took me a year to get it down to where it would just flow. But I've had some experiences with Shakib while he was director or president of the soccer. And he was another gentleman that was a true leader. If he had a point of contention, he stood with it. He protected his children. So when he came on board, I thought maybe his personality and my personality wasn't going to mix, but that goes to show you, even though I'm on there in years, how you could still learn when you think you know a person until you've been with them for a while, you really don't know them. And I come to find out that I'm sad to see him go, and I really am. He's very reasonable. I can't remember one time where he brought politics into his decision, which is a key thing for us up here, to take the politics and throw it out the window and then do things that you charge us for. We're charged to do, which is work for you. And that's what he did here. I wish I had a plaque that said one of the most reasonable council people that I had to work with in the last 20 years. Shakib, I'm going to miss you. Mr. Fasola is linking in from the airwaves, and he wants to say a few kind things to our council people. I hope they're kind.
They're kind. Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Fakori, I can truly say that the impact you make on people's lives leaves them with the thought that there truly is angels on this earth. You are one of those people that don't need titles to do great things. Just like Doris, this isn't goodbye. You will still play a vital role in our community that everyone will be aware of it. So thank you for your service to Elmwood Park, and God bless you and your family. Doris, for so many years and in so many capacities, you have served our residents with compassion and dedication. I served with you on the library board and on the council, and I can say I have made a true friend, one that I know I could call any time for anything. This council will definitely miss your passion, but I personally will miss reminding you to turn on your mic. I know this isn't goodbye because it's not in your blood to sit home. You will still be here, just using a different mic, unfortunately one that I can't reach to turn on for you. I love you, God bless you, and God bless your family.
Thank you, Mr. Fasola. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 5-minute recess. You could stay or you could leave, whichever you want to do. The only one that can't leave is Mr. Ingrafia. We're going to take some pictures now with the police.
Okay, Mayor, I'd like to call this meeting back to order to reestablish quorum. Council members Balistreri. Here. Fakori.
Here.
Fasolo.
Here.
Golubek. Here. Pellegrin. Here. Council President Wetchler. Here. Mayor Coletti.
Here.
Okay, we have reestablished quorum. Moving on to the next item on our agenda, we have the mayoral veto on ordinance number 21-27, which is bonds ordinance to authorize the 2021 road resurfacing program in bind for the Borough of Elmwood Park and the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,020,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. Mayor Coletti has invoked his right to mayoral veto. At this juncture, the council can choose to affirm and accept the veto or overturn it by a minimum of 2/3 majority vote.
I believe we're going to need a motion on that.
I would need a motion on,
Well, we do not agree on the actions of the mayor's veto. I would like to make a motion to override the veto.
I second.
You got 2 seconds there. Any discussion? I have a statement I'd like to read in regards to my veto and why I did veto. My veto's objective was to make the council aware of our growing debt. To date, total bonding debt is $29,209,000. The average bonding per year equals $2,655,000. And here's the breakdown. This is how we got to the 29 million. And I had asked our CFO for a list going back 10 years with the bonding. He actually starts it off in 2011. Our bonding debt was $935,000. I will skip a few years. I'll go to 2015, $1,239,000. I'll skip and go to 2018, $2,900,000. 2019, $4,148,000. 2020, $4,600,000. 2021, $3 million, very close to $500,000. The American Rescue Plan granted us $2 million over 2 years, permitting us to use it for infrastructure needs. I recommended taking $400,000 and applying it to our paving, curbing, and drainage projects, thus reducing the need to bond in the next 2 years from $2 million to $1,600,000. My goal is to try and curb our growing debt. Call the roll, please.
Mayor, I have a comment. I just want to go back to the meeting where we had our CFO. Well, actually, let me take a step back. This idea was put on the table to take $400,000 or so out of the rescue plan money prior to even speaking to our financial professionals, Mr. Rigatano and Mr. Wilcox. And when I pushed that point, and thank you to the council for agreeing to bring them in, at that time, Mayor, you did not agree for the need to bring them in because we needed to move forward and do it this way. When our financial professionals came in, they opened our eyes to the possibility that that roughly $2 million could be used in the 2022 budget and or 23 budget to potentially offset any tax increase. In plainer language, if we start our 22 budget process and we say, here are our priorities, here are all our expenses, our salaries, and the CFO says, to accomplish this, you're going to have to raise the tax levy by $700,000, this rescue plan money has the flexibility where we can pull $700,000 out, apply it to the budget, and not raise taxes on the residents. That same possibility exists for the year after that. We simply will not know whether we will need that situation or how big it will be until we start that process. It could be 100 grand, it could be 1.1 million. My point being that after we learn that information, it would be absolutely reckless and irresponsible to touch that money towards funding in cash any kind of projects without knowing what the next budget will bring us and the budget after that. That is the most logical way to approach this and essentially what our financial professionals told us. Therefore, to finance these improvements, which almost everyone here agreed on, we resort to how we have funded any project over $30,000, $40,000 in this town for the last 50 years, which is to bond it. We are doing absolutely nothing different than any other council in the past, other than, and I am proud to do so, finally investing in this town. Because those small numbers the mayor mentions, and I wish we could go even back, represent the decades of neglect that prior leadership did not invest into this town, and we are finally catching up. So numbers, they can appear big, but in my mind, they represent investment in our town and finally getting us, and we'll get there soon, to the same standard that many of our neighbors in Bergen County are at. So I disagree with this veto, and I will proudly vote to overturn it because this is the responsible way to approach both of these subjects. And if we do it correctly, we may not have a tax increase next year or the year after. If we follow the mayor's advice, we may miss that opportunity because we wanted to spend this in cash so we could hit the bullet points that were just mentioned. And I totally disagree with that. And I'm proud that the council will stand together and do the right thing here.
Okay, everything was pretty accurate from 40% to about 80%. I'm not talking about where we're going to spend this money. I'm talking about the fact that what we have to realize is that we all want to get to a zero increase municipal budget. And that's probably going to happen. Our CFO has told us that it would take $500,000 to $800,000 per year to get to that point. That brings us on the high end. If you take the $800,000, brings you to $1.6 million. That leaves you $400,000 to play with. Now, rather than going looking for a place to spend it, we got a $4 million in 2020, $4.5 million we bonded. So basically what's happened when you bond, and you do need to bond, emergencies. Fire truck comes up every so often. You have to do that. But it's primarily there for a rainy day and you don't have the money. So you go to the credit card. You don't make it a standard operation every year to bond $4.5 million and come in with a zero increase on the municipal end, because that really is not zero anymore. You just debt carded $4.5 million. Now look, once again, I'm not saying that we should not bond, and during the course of all the years we had to. I'm saying we could have curbed it, a minute $400,000 that's going to be sitting there just waiting to be spent, for sure, could be closer to $1 million. And I hope we don't go looking for something to spend it on that is not needed. All I wanted to see was that $400,000, instead of bonding $1.7 million this year, we would have bonded $1.3 million, and everybody would have been happy. Call the roll, please.
Can I say
Sure,
something
sure.
quick? Yeah, I just
Sure.
wanted to say that, you know, I listened to a lot of people say a lot of things over the last few weeks about this, and we called Mr. Rigatano in, and I asked him point blank at the last meeting, you're the expert in this. I know it's my vote, but I don't have the expertise in this area, which a lot of people up here don't. He does. He's been doing this for over 20 years. And I asked him, put him on the spot and asked him point blank, and he said bonding is the right way to go with this. Those were his words, not mine. I listened to you, Mayor. I respect you. I listened to my colleagues. I respect them. And for me, after listening to Mr. Rigatana, I really believe that that was the way to go. It's a very, very low bond rate right now. And he had no reason to say this way or that way. I believe he was truly just giving his expertise on the situation. And for that reason, that's why I'm going to override the veto. Not for any other reason, no political reason. I went with the experts. Just like if it was a police matter, I would respect Chief Foligno. If it was, you know, so I go to the experts. That's why we pay them. And he's been with us for 20-something years. We have almost perfect audits, and everything's been running smoothly. So I respected his opinion, and that's why I'm going to override it.
Thank you. Doris, you wanted to
Yeah,
speak?
I'm going to override it too, Mayor, because of I think our taxpayers and our residents of this town deserve to have something done for them finally. They have paid taxes for a number of years, you know, and they came up time after time, residents come up and ask about, you know, their infrastructure, their roads, this, that, and everything else, and nothing has gotten done. It's always been a Band-Aid. Now that we could do it and have like a clear conscience that we're still going to have money on the side so they can have a zero tax increase for the next 2 years, I think it's perfect. Thank you.
And the only thing, I just want to piggyback off of Councilman Pellegrini, that I agree, because our experts, we've asked them. This is not something we went into a quick decision. This had much discussion for quite some time. And we would have been advised if this was a bad move. But we were not advised that this was a bad move. This was, in fact, a good move. So I have to also, as I feel, trust the experts on this, because I'm not the expert on this. So I'm going to go with that recommendation as well.
Okay, thank you. All right, I think we've heard, and Keith, Mr. Vicore, do you want to speak on it?
I'm frugal in nature, Mayor. But I have to agree with the expert on this one. I don't see laying out $400,000 in cash for something to pay up front. That some of the residents might sell their house, might move, they're not getting no use out of it. So that's my opinion, and I'm going to listen to the expert, and that's the reason.
Okay. Well, let me say this.
Mayor, if
I'm sorry, I can't see your face, and I forget you all the time.
Sorry. Mayor, I'm also going to override your veto. I think the veto was very irresponsible, especially after our CFO came in and told us what the right course of action would be. Again, just to echo what Councilman Golovic said, this is because of the years of neglect that this town has faced, is why we are now spending to other towns in Bergen County. So my vote is to override your veto.
Yeah, well, the thing is here, I'm not saying don't spend the money. I'm saying put the excess towards the debt. And that's why I think everybody's confused here.
No, we're not. We're not used it on there.
Well, we're not, then why are we talking about the town and moving forward with the town and beautification? Of course, we all want that, and we've been doing that. Here, we got an opportunity through a grant of a surplus of $400,000 after achieving a zero municipal increase in the next 2 years. Take that $400,000, and by the way, I have some respect for our chief financial officer, but I also, in this case here, I'm not only bucking the whole council, who's basically basing their opinions on what he had said, but I think he is dead wrong here. First of all, he's been telling me our debt averaged $1.5 million in the last 4 or 5 conversations I had with him. I asked him to put it on paper here, and all of a sudden, it's not $1.5 million, it's an average of close to $3 million a year. Now, once again, I'm not saying shortcome any programs. All I'm saying is you got this extra money here. Instead of just leaving it here and go finding a place to spend it, take it, dump it on the debt. Call the roll, please.
A yes is to override the veto, correct?
Yes. Okay, on roll call, an affirmative vote will override the mayoral veto. Council members Balistrary,
Yes.
Fakori,
Yes.
Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Council President Wetchler.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries to override the mayoral veto. Moving on to ordinances being read on second reading, Resolution R-448-21, introduced ordinance number 21-28 on second reading. Whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled an ordinance amending the Borough Code, Chapter 24, entitled Water, Section 24-4, subsection 24-4.4, entitled Exceptions, so as to include certain language creating a seasonable exception, and subsection 24-4.6, entitled Enforcement, so as to designate other authorized borough officials to enforce this ordinance. Was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Wednesday, November 10, 2021, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled an ordinance amending the Borough Code, Chapter 24, entitled Water, Section 24-4, subsection 24-4.4, entitled Exceptions, so as to include certain language creating a seasonable exception, and subsection 24-4.6, entitled Enforcement, so as to designate other authorized borough officials to enforce this ordinance. Pass on final reading.
Motion to open to the public?
Second.
Anyone from the public care to speak on this ordinance? And this ordinance alone? Mr. Freitag?
Yeah, Jeffrey Freitag. When is this published?
Jeff, please get to the,
When is this published? Will it be published as it is?
I'm sorry.
As it's written?
And the question is?
Yes, Jeff, when I send it to our codification company, I send it as is. They do reviews before sending our supplements for any errors that they might catch. So is that what you may have caught?
Because I think it's seasonal. And designated is also.
Yes. I believe I even read it as seasonal, so I will make that change. And but as I said, everything is sent to our codification company and any errors they catch.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else from the public care to speak on this ordinance? If not, I'll close the public portion. Motion? Second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
First by Wetchler, second by Pellegrin. On roll call, council members Balistrary,
Yes.
Fakori,
Yes.
Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Council President Wetchler.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-449-21, introduced ordinance number 21-29 on second reading. Whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled an ordinance to amend ordinance 21-15, fixing the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers, employees, and servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park for the year 2021, was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Wednesday, November 10, 2021, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting, and whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend ordinance 21-15 fixing the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers, employees, and servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park for the year 2021 pass on final reading.
Motion to open to the public?
Second.
Anyone from the public care to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I'll close the public portion. Motion to adopt?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
On roll call, Councilmembers Balistrary.
Yes.
Pecori.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-450-21, introduced ordinance number 21-30 on second reading, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend ordinance 21-15 fixing the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers, employees, and servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park for the year 2021 was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Wednesday, November 10, 2021, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting, whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend ordinance 21-15, fixing the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers, employees, and servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park for the year 2021 pass on final reading.
Motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I'll close the public portion. Motion to adopt, please.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
First by Wetchler, second by Pellegrin. On roll call, Councilmembers Balistrary.
Yes.
Pecori.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-451-21, introduced ordinance number 21-31 on second reading, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend ordinance 21-15 fixing the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers, employees, and servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park for the year 2021 was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Wednesday, November 10, 2021, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend ordinance 21-15 fixing the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers, employees, and servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park for the year 2021 pass on final reading.
Motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I'll close the public portion. Motion to adopt, please.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
First by Wetchler, second by Balistrary. On roll call, Councilmembers Balistrary.
Yes.
Pecori.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler.
Yes.
Motion carries. Our final ordinance for the evening, Resolution R-452-21, introduced ordinance number 21-32 on second reading, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled Ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, New Jersey, adopting a redevelopment plan for rehabilitation on certain properties situated along Broadway and vicinity was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, December 2nd, 2021, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled Ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, New Jersey, adopting a redevelopment plan for rehabilitation of certain properties situated along Broadway and vicinity pass on final reading.
Motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I'll close the public portion. Motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
First by Wetchler, second by Balistrary, yes.
Yes.
I believe that in this particular ordinance, there was a letter for review from the planning board that council received. And I have the, Chris Foley from Apology, who would like to address that, if possible, because the letter, although approving and agreeing to the ordinance, made a recommendation or suggestion, and that should be addressed by the council before an action is
Chris, do you mind coming up actually to the microphone because this meeting is being recorded? It would actually be better if you sat up here and used that one. Thank you.
Good evening, Chris.
Mayor, it's just a formality with regards to the procedural aspect. Anytime the planning board sends back a approval or disapproval and/or approval with some sort of recommendation, it has to be addressed by the council and exercised on. Okay, so
Yeah, I could speak to it, so.
Huh?
I could speak to the recommendation, yeah.
So I'm going to let, rather than me go into a cross-examination like I did last time, this is a much simpler situation, so I'm just going to let Julie.
Thank you, Mr. Ingraffia.
Okay, thank you. And hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you. So since we were here last, we did go to the planning board last week. We presented the redevelopment plan. The planning board found the redevelopment plan to be not inconsistent with the master plan, which is good, which is the finding that we also believe. But they did include one recommendation, specifically about the maximum height under the plan. As you recall from when we discussed this in October, maybe. At that point, the draft of the document that I had provided to you had maximum heights of up to 6 stories for mixed-use buildings. There was a council discussion about what height was appropriate. As an outcome of that discussion, the height got changed to 5 stories as the maximum, and the planning board's recommendation back was to reduce that to 4 stories.
40 feet, 4 stories, right?
To reduce it to 4 stories, that's right. So as the attorney said, there's sort of a procedural element in the redevelopment law that frankly gives the governing body the right to accept or reject the recommendation. But if there is a recommendation that they choose not to accept, it just needs to be addressed as part of the meeting. So that's really the extent of all I have to say in terms of context.
With that in mind, do you feel that under the circumstances, the recommendation made by the planning board is reasonable and consistent with regards to the overall aspect of redevelopment and potential of this campus?
I believe that either 4 stories or 5 stories, depending on the will of the council, would be an appropriate maximum height given what we're trying to do here. So I take the zoning ordinance is really like a tool of the council.
But in this particular case, under your expertise, would either the 4 or 5, would the 5 be more compatible or more reasonable for an opportunity to develop?
I mean, I wrote the plan, and I recommended 5 stories in the plan.
Thank you.
Okay.
If I may, being a member of the planning board, the planning board's contention was that there's a building down the street near the river. Mike, what's the name of that building?
It's number 1 Broadway, we refer to it as. I'm not sure of the actual name of it, but it's, the address is 1 Broadway.
Yeah, as soon as you come over the bridge or you're leaving Elmwood Park, that building there is 4 stories. Now, place that building on Broadway, and the planning board's contention was that right in back of that, you're going to have residential homes. And right now, they're used to seeing maybe 3 stories of shadow. If the sun's coming up, well, that's north, this is south, so the sun would be coming from this direction. The shadows that would occur, now, you got to picture yourself being in your backyard. Your neighborhoods are all designed basically the way you want your backyard to be. You have your little garden somewhere, you have your roses growing somewhere. Now, all of a sudden, you have a 4-story building that 10-foot or 5-story building, that 10-foot is probably putting a shadow on half of your house. And as far as sunshine, you probably never see it in that area, whether it's the back, the side, or the front. So we had, and it was unanimous, agreed that the recommendation to the council would be to bring it to 40 feet, which is equal to the building that's on Broadway now.
Mayor, if I may, I think the sun goes east to west, so I think it's much less of an issue than if this was, all the buildings were oriented, actually, east to west. Number two, I do truly believe this, and this goes for parks, this goes for highways. When individuals purchase a home near a park, near a highway, there comes some risk with that, some things, some unknowns that may happen down the line. So we have to take residents' concerns into consideration, but they know where they moved and they knew the possibility of change or some sort of activity. So that's important. And third, we receive generally from that neighborhood and other residents in town complaints about the condition of Broadway. What's going to happen with Broadway? How do we uplift Broadway? And as Mr. Colley said, we're creating an expansive tool, expanded possibilities for people to even be interested in this corridor to begin with. So I think the more we limit, the likelier it is that things will remain exactly the same. And I think if you asked 10 people on the street in Elmwood Park, would they rather improvement go to Broadway or nothing at all, they will push towards improvement, and we have to start doing these things to start putting those things into motion. So I believe we vetted this. We discussed it as the council. We're chosen by the people to make these important and hard decisions, and we should stick by what we decided the last time we spoke.
So what are you saying? The opinion of the planning board means nothing to this council?
Did you hear me say that?
You're saying,
Did you
we
hear-
already spoke about this, we should stick to what we decided. So I'm assuming, and maybe that's a poor word to use, assume,
Right.
that you're not respecting the opinion of the planning board.
If the state legislature wanted the planning board to make these decisions for the town, it would have done so. It gave it an advisory role. We listened to it. We heard it. That's great. We do that on many different things. And I think our reasons for doing what we're doing are what's in the best interest for the town.
Okay. There's one other thing that the planning board was concerned about, and Mr. Colley, you can verify if I'm correct or not. The way this is set up, well, two questions. The way this is set up now, it's one parking spot per residential unit. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So now we got to picture this. By adding that fifth floor on top, you're exacerbating the parking situation, which is already in jeopardy of being unacceptable. Now, I understand in order to draw a developer in, you have to have these types of conditions. But if you take the one story off and you remedy the shadows that will occur east, west, north, or south from this building, that's bringing the project more in light to the community. Now, how much, and this would be my question to you, how much of a deal breaker is it if you eliminate the fifth floor to a developer?
It's an interesting question. Developing good zoning is not about developing like deal breakers or things of that nature for potential developers. I believe, and that's why we wrote it in here, that 5 stories is an appropriate height for buildings in this location, frankly, given some of the things we talked about at previous meetings, the size of the street there, the access to transit there. So, I mean, it's kind of a separate part of the conversation than what you're talking about in terms of balancing. In terms of the parking ratio, I don't know if that actually made it in the letter. I don't know if that was part of the recommendation from the planning board, that the parking ratio be evaluated. But what I said at the planning board, and what I'll say again here, is 1 parking space per unit is, in my opinion, an appropriate standard for that location, given the access to transit. It's a minimum standard, so if somebody wants to come in and based on their analysis they think they should build more parking, they're certainly within their rights to do that. That's what I have to say on that.
I do, once again, I do understand you have to make it attractive to the developer, but we don't want to sell the farm while we're doing it. And between the two items, the parking issue and the height issue, the shadowing, the residential's in the back, I thought that that was a fair trade-off to bring it back down to the fourth. Mr. Gollenbach,
What?
something you want to tell me?
No.
Oh,
If I have to tell you something.
you got to go to the bathroom? Oh. Okay. I felt the trade-off there was the 4 floors. Would you agree that you are, by removing the 1 floor, you're de-escalating the parking situation?
No, I wouldn't at all, actually. One of the advantages of having a 5th floor there is if someone wanted to provide more parking, they could provide parking at the ground level and the 2nd level and a podium, providing even more parking. By removing that top floor, you're actually going to reduce the maximum amount of parking that could be provided on the site. So I wouldn't really agree with.
Okay, so you're saying it's all relative to the floor would only increase the parking garage?
No, I'm not saying that either. I am saying that the extra floor gives an extra level of flexibility. So if someone wanted to provide more parking on that floor, they could do that. If they didn't, and they were otherwise compliant with the plan, they could do that. They could do that as well.
Okay. Mr. Graffia, being that you brought this to our attentions after I had closed it to the public, I think it would be appropriate we open this to the public. Going to open this ordinance.
Mayor, can I say something?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I just wanted to say, I think there needs to be a little bit more discussion about this. I don't really feel comfortable right now voting on this because I agree to some respects the parking is a big issue, and I don't think we have to rush on this. I think we could have another meeting about this and really get our ducks in a row and see how we really all feel and have a meeting about this, because I think it's a serious issue, and I don't want to make a quick decision, because I agree with you, the parking could be a problem. We don't want to burden that area, but we also want to keep it open enough to developers. So I think we need, as a team, to sit down one more time with this before we make a final decision. I don't know if you're open to that, but I would like to do that.
I'm very open to that. That's very
Okay.
reasonable.
Okay.
So I think we need a motion to
So I
table.
would like to make a motion to table this.
Mayor, there is already a motion and a second to adopt, so that would first need to be acted
So we can
upon.
just vote no to that?
Correct.
And then do a table?
Okay.
Can we have the members who made the motion and second withdraw their motions?
Or you could do that. It was Wetchler and Ballasteri.
I'll withdraw.
Okay,
So then I will make a motion to table this.
okay. We're going to take a vote.
Okay, motion to table by council members Pellegrin, seconded by Wetchler. On roll call, council members Ballasteri,
Yes.
Fakori,
Yes.
Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler.
Yes.
Okay, motion to table carries. Moving on to our consent agenda. Resolutions R-453-21 approval of payroll, R-454-21 approval of bills list, R-455-21 resolution to redeem third-party tax lien, R-456-21 resolution to redeem third-party tax lien, R-457-21 resolution to refund overpayment, R-458-21 resolution to refund overpayment, R-459-21 resolution to refund overpayment, R-460-21 resolution to refund overpayment, R-461-21 resolution to refund overpayment, R-462-21 resolution to refund overpayment, R-463-21 authorized purchase of vehicle, Reich Fleet Services, Police Department, R-464-21, approve the 2021 Fire Department clothing allowance, R-465-21, approve Elmwood Park Fire Department stipend program, third quarter compensation, R-466-21, authorize emergency repairs, Airtron Technology, Inc., R-467-21, authorize emergency repairs, Colonelli Brothers, Inc., R-468-21, authorize execution of contract with Bergen County Department of Health Services. R-469-21, authorizing the mayor to execute an interlocal agreement with the Borough of Paramus Shared Service Agreement for borough vehicles. R-470-21, authorize additional funding, special legal counsel, Santo T. Alampi Esquire, Alampi and Damaris, R-471-21, appointment of OEM secretary. R-472-21, approval of transfers. R-473-21, approval of transfers. R-474-21, authorized coin toss events, Defender Company Number 2. R-475-21, approval of items of revenue and appropriation, NJS 48:4-87. R-476-21, approval of items of revenue and appropriation, NJS 48:4-87. R-477-21, resignation of firefighter. R-478-21, appointment of police towers. R-479-21, authorizing the business administrator to sign an agreement with IEW Construction Group, Inc., granting the license for temporary construction access, use, and staging on the borough property. And R-480-21, resolution to approve the consent agenda.
Motion on the consent agenda.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
First by Wetchler, second by Pellegrino. Roll call, council members Balistrary.
Yes.
Fakori.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler.
I'd like to recuse myself on R 453-21 on Harry Wexler's check, and yes to the rest.
Okay, motion carries. Moving on to departmental reports, we have the library board meeting minutes from October 18, 2021, and Board of Health meeting minutes from October 18, 2021. Is there a motion?
Motion on acceptance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry.
No, that wasn't, that was my fault, Mayor.
Okay.
Okay, motion carries. Mayor, that concludes my portion of the agenda this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. If you'd like to go get a glass of water after all that reading, you're welcome. Council reports. We'll start off with Councilwoman Ballesteri.
Okay, since we've had a lot of discussion, I'll keep mine short. Again, I will miss our two council people sitting here, but I know I will see you in another capacity, I'm sure. I want to congratulate Tanisha Dennis and Terry Sheridan on their win for the council, and I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, and a Happy New Year to all.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilman Vakori.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to wish everyone Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a great New Year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vakori. Councilman Fasolo.
I just want to wish everybody a happy holidays and a happy new year. Everybody stay safe. COVID's definitely going around again. Progress, Mayor.
Thank you. When you get better, young man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Councilman Golubek.
Thank you, Mayor. To Tanisha Dennis and Terry Sheridan, I look forward to serving with you. I'm looking forward to your big day at the swearing in. It'll be a very, very nice occasion, and then we roll up our sleeves and get the people's work done. Other than that, happy holidays to all the best in 2022.
Thank you. Councilwoman Pellegrin.
Yes, of course, I have a couple reports. My police update. As the year's coming to an end, I would like to thank Chief Foligno and the entire police department for all they do for our community. This year, they had so many events for our residents, always trying to bring the community together. Also, they're always there working with our youth and have many events and programs for them. Our police department keeps us safe each and every day. They go above and beyond their job descriptions to help our residents. So thank you to all of you for all you do for our community. You are so appreciated. God bless and always stay safe. My Residence Assistance Program update. The Residence Assistance Program committee members gave out toys to families in need on December 10th and 11th. Over 90 children in need will receive toys on Christmas morning, due to the generosity of so many. It's because of these donations that our program continues to help so many in need. Community helping community makes all the difference. Thank you to everyone who helped and participated in this very special event. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. Lastly, to our residents, whatever holiday you and your family celebrate, I wish you nothing but happiness and good health. And may 2022 bring us all peace, hope, and light in the new year. And Mayor, I'd just like to say one more thing about when we had the Residence Assistance Program event. You were there, Councilman Wetchler, Sandy came in, Shakib came in, It was a beautiful day, and you just had to be there to see. Terry was there helping. You had to see the faces on the residents that came in to get toys for their children. It was truly a moment. They were so appreciative. Some of them said that they wouldn't have gifts for their children. One lady came in and said she actually prayed for 3 gifts for each child. So what we do as a community, this program is funded by all donations. And what we do to help these residents is just unbelievable. And this program started off small 4 years ago. And through the generosity of so many in this town always rallies together to help. We've really come a long way to help hundreds of families. So I thank you all. To those at home that are listening, we appreciate each and every one of you. And God bless you all. We couldn't have a program like this without all of you. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Lorraine.
Council President Wetchler?
Yes, I'd like to congratulate Terry and Tanisha. You got big seats to fill over here. You got 2 good people that we leaving because we know you 2 can do the job just as we can. And I want to say congratulations. I'll see you on January 6th, both of you. I'd like to wish everybody again a Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year. And everybody be safe. Happy New Year. See you in 2022.
Thank you, Doris. Ladies and gentlemen, I had the opportunity last Saturday to go to a very, very special event. It was all filled with goodness, kindness, things that we should do each and every day. Unfortunately, we can't do that because we have jobs, lives, and families. But around the holidays is when people come out with their hearts. And I witnessed a very special event. I want to commemorate the efforts that Mrs. Pellegrin, Angela Fava, Terry Sheridan, and Doris Wetchler, all the members of the RAP program, for their efforts to bring toys for kids last Saturday and all the joy that accompanies it. Lorraine, thank you for taking this organization from what it was to what it is. Kudos. And what makes this organization even more special is the fact that the majority of the funds that are coming in order to be generous, are coming in from businesses. So what we're saying is that's a great idea, how we're going to pay for it. These people, they're not saying that. They're not coming in here and asking the taxpayers to pay for a good thing, by the way. They're coming in and saying, we'll get to the businesses, and that makes it twice as hard, ladies and gentlemen, twice as hard, because you've got to go get the money, and then you can be generous. So I take my hat off to you.
Thank you, Mayor.
And that's the end of my report. Moving along, motion to open to the public.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Anyone from the public here to speak on any item they wish? State your name, address. Pam, pull the mic down to you.
Pam Troisi, 31 Elmwood Drive. I wanted to make a comment on the encroachment of the sunshine on the residents along Broadway. While the sun does rise in the east and set in the west, the southern sun is the strongest, longest sun of the day. Anybody who's a gardener knows that they plant their garden facing the southern sun. Also, if anybody has ever had solar panels installed, it's always on the roof facing the southern sun. That's all I wanted to comment on.
Thank you, Pam. I know one thing, if I was going to go on a boat across the ocean, I would want you navigating, because you seem to have that down. Thank you. Anybody else cared to speak? Yes, ma'am.
I'm here speaking on behalf of my father. He's been trying for years to get handicap placards in front of his house, and it's been rejected, time after time after time after time. Parking on Showbot Lane is 3 feet, like, it's ridiculous. He has severe COPD, so he can't walk in parking. Or from like, up the block.
Can I interrupt you? Is there a driveway?
There is a driveway.
Is it it's a two-family, obvious?
Yeah.
And there's two cars that, off-street parking? Two or four? How many cars could fit in the driveway?
3, but they have like 4 or 5 cars.
So what you're saying is the landlord is occupying all the parking spaces in the driveway,
Correct.
which I believe our ordinance prohibits that. Mr. Graffia, are you familiar with that?
Mayor, if I may, we've done the investigations into this, and we've explained to your dad, the landlord has to provide an off-street space by ordinance. Your dad doesn't want us to tell him that because he fears that he's going to kick him out, which he can't do. We can't give him a handicap space in the street and allow the resident to avoid the ordinance.
Well, right now, he's literally like, he could go out during the day, but like, he can't go out he can't go out on the weekends, like, he's literally stuck at home because of the parking.
Let me ask you this. If he was parking in the driveway, is it handicap-free? In other words, would he be able to get from point A, the driveway, point B, the entrance of the house, with a ADA accessible steps, a ramp or approach, I should say?
Well, inside, because he lives on the 2nd floor, so inside, my brother had to put, a chairlift, and then outside is only like.
He's wheelchair-bound, your father? Kinda?
Yes and no.
Okay, so, yeah, he can't walk Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, if the driveway is not handicap accessible and the street is, from the street on in, does that lend itself to a dispensation to the policy?
I'll have to look into that, Mayor, but the landlord has to provide an off-street space for his tenant, and he's not.
And he's not?
That would resolve the matter.
Okay. So can we talk to the landlord?
We can, but Mr. Hoffer doesn't want us to.
He's really close with the landlord, and he doesn't want to, cause any issues.
Yeah, no, see, that's the problem with a lot of these two families. The landlords take up all the parking spaces, and when the tenants come in, they tell them to park on the street, which is not right. I wish we had a way of resolving that.
Well, see, like, what's so about me, it's not like 2 spaces, it's literally just like 1 row.
Piggybacked.
Yeah. I mean, if they was like side by side, then yeah, I would see that, but
Okay.
it's not.
Okay, Mike, any consideration, the fact that it's...
Mayor, my concern is if we make an exception in one case, how do we tell anybody else no? And then we'll have handicap spots on all our streets, and the residents are not following the ordinance with respect to providing an off-street space for their tenant, hence putting more vehicles on the street than need to be there, which we have a parking problem as it is. He needs to follow the ordinance.
But if he parks in the driveway and they gotta park their cars on the street, there's gonna be like 3 to 4 more cars on the street. It's not enough, like, the houses that were built across the street, we're supposed to park, like, we're supposed to have parking in the driveway. They're parking on the street. And you have the houses who have driveways and they're all parking on the street.
I know, this is a problem. The only avenue I think there is here is if your dad can't get from his driveway because there's steps there that he cannot negotiate with, or if there's any kind of a rise that he cannot deal with. Is that the case? Coming from the driveway,
Okay, so over to the driveway, it's more of a walk to walk around. From where he parks in the street, it's less steps.
is it flat though? Are there any steps involved from the curb? Getting it,
There's a driveway right there, if he could get up.
the driveway, he can get up.
Yeah,
And the front sidewalk into the street, he can get up.
yeah.
So basically, there's nothing we could do, other than you going to the landlord and explain to the landlord that maybe you don't want to be too harsh up front and say you know the ordinance where your dad should be parking on that driveway.
But there's other people who have no handicap placards. There's somebody out, I think, who's the last one, there's somebody in the apartment, so why can't my father have a handicap?
that because whatever the criteria was, they passed it. In this case here, you have a driveway, and there's accessibility from the driveway and from the street for your dad. So the criteria, he's not passing the criteria. Anything you want to add to that, Mike?
We could solve the problem if they just allow us to speak to the landlord.
Okay. Get to the landlord, my dear.
Well, he'll have to do it if you allow us to enforce the ordinance. He has no choice, but we want to respect your father's wishes and not speak to the landlord. If he just gives us the ability to speak to him, we can resolve this. He can't kick him out. It's illegal for making a complaint about us making him follow an ordinance. So,
I'm sorry, we don't have better news for you. Get to the landlord. And once you do, if you need to see the ordinance, you call in here to the municipal building, and we'll furnish you with the ordinance to show the landlord.
Now, is this a state ordinance or a town?
It's local. It's our ordinance.
So then, what if I went above and went to the state about this, about ADA?
That would be a legal question. Sal, did you hear it? If she superseded us and went to the state,
What she could do, it's her pleasure, or her father's pleasure to do where he wants to go. But
Yeah.
the only thing they could do is try to figure out whether it meets the guidelines of the state, or in this case, I don't think that they would even be involved in it because it's not a sidewalk or a private property. So
Did you hear that?
the best way in listening to it is to give the landlord notice that he needs a parking space and see what happens. And without that,
so we're looking to achieve the best of two worlds, which is that you get a parking space, a handicap parking space, and you don't irritate the landlord. There's no room here for both of those options. It's got to, one or the other. You keep things the way they are, or maybe you irritate the landlord. I wish I had more I could tell you, dear. Thank you very much. Anyone else from the public here to speak? Just want to shout out there to Pastor Ron. Good to see that smiling face there. Anyone else from the public here to speak? No? If not, I will close the public portion.
Mayor, at this time, we do need to go into executive session.
Motion to go into executive?
Second.
All in favor?
Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the governing body wishes to discuss legal matters, minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires that confidentiality, then the minutes can be made public. Now therefore be it resolved that the public be excluded from this meeting. I would also like to advise the public that formal action may be taken at the conclusion of the executive session meeting.
I got to call for a motion to reopen, right?
Mayor, yes, you could call for a motion to close the executive session.
Motion to close executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. As discussed in executive session, is there a motion on a verbal resolution for an anticipatory emergent situation to authorize Borough Administrator Feligno to take action and move forward with any steps necessary for us to obtain our own ambulatory operation?
Motion as said.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Did you need a roll call on that?
Actually, yes, Mayor.
Excuse me, call the roll, please.
Okay, on roll call, Councilmembers Balistrary.
Yes.
Fakori.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Additionally, we have a second Resolution R-481-21, and through you, Mayor, if I can just read it by title. Resolution of municipal support for Essential Cannabis Company LLC to receive a Class 1 cannabis cultivator license from the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission to operate within the Borough of Elmwood Park.
We're going to need a roll call on this, I believe.
Yep.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Wetchler, second by Fakori. On roll call, council members Balistrary.
Yes.
Fakori.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek. Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
So moved.
Boy, that was quick.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, meeting's adjourned. Mike, can you stop, please?
Francesco, feel better.
I got to go back to the office and sign some things, all right?
Yes.
Yeah.